Yes, guys, welcome to this week's live stream. How good was last week? Like, last week was absolutely mint to be on the live stream with so many of you here on Instagram and on YouTube. Absolutely class to be on this. So, guys, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Instagram, welcome down to this week's live stream. I'm basically here to answer all your questions. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Instagram. Welcome down, guys. So essentially, this live stream is just your chance to get in those comments, ask me some questions about your golf game, anything that you might need help with, you might not. Just get down in those comments. I'd love to hear what you need help with in your golf game, and let me know where you're listening from. Guys, welcome to this week's live stream. We're going to start taking some questions here on Instagram, but we will be taking them on YouTube as well. So I've seen a good one here. How do you work on short game 50 yards on in? So this comes from Tomo93. This is a brilliant question, by the way, because so many of us on short game struggle, right? So many of us struggle because we don't stand to the golf ball correctly. So Tomo, what I would say is on this, look at your width of stance. Make sure it's 2 club widths apart. Weight on the left side and really just work to create an L shape back, L shape through. And key thing that I always think here, accelerate into the ball. So many of us don't do that. So that's a really nice, simple one. But guys, thanks so much for all the nice comments. It's great to hear from you all. We're live on Instagram. We are live on YouTube. I'm going to be here for the next 30 minutes answering all your questions. So anything that you've got in your game, anything that you're struggling with, we're here to go with. Okay, here it goes. We're going to go over to YouTube now, but we're going to stick with you guys here on Instagram as well. So keep watching. Matt Gray said, just been on the range and constantly hooked it today. How can I solve that? Okay, so the hook shot is a big in it, right? It's terrible. For a right-hander, it goes way off to the left. For a left-hander, it goes way off to the right. Now, one thing that I'd always think about if you are hooking the golf ball massively is first things first, have a look at your grip. Are you showing too many knuckles on your glove hand? It may look like your glove hand, you can see 2, 3, 4, maybe like 3 to 4 knuckles. And what you'd see here is your non-glove hand would point to the sky. So essentially giving you a big chance of closing that club face. So all I would say is first things first, when you're looking down at the golf club as a right-hander, orientate your hands a little bit further to the left. These things are a lot easier to control when you're doing that. Guys, thanks so much for the comments. We're going to go through both of them on Instagram and on YouTube. So thanks so much for all these. Scott Lauren said, thanks so much for your videos. They help a lot. No problem at all. Hope they really do help you really play some good golf, Lauren. Okay, here's a good one. Can you explain what you mean by posting? Loving the live stuff. Thanks, Ross from Scotland. Okay, so what I mean by posting, and this is a big one, if you listen to this closely on YouTube as well, it's like that feeling of moving and rotating into one side that's stable. So as a right-handed golfer, as we're rotating into the golf ball, we want to feel as though we're rotating into that left side because essentially we want a stable force it up again. So that's why we call it posting. If you're left-handed, this would simply be just the opposite way around. So hopefully that does help you. Okay, we're going to keep going. Instagram, YouTube. Okay, so here we go. Jonathan Parry has asked the question. Hi, Alex. I'm a 19 handicapper. I struggle with too many swing thoughts. Recommend one that I should focus on, please. Now, swing thoughts are tough, aren't they? Guys, I'm just going to say, if you are just joining me now, just drop a little evening comment down below or anything that you're worried about in your golf game. I'd love to hear where you're listening from. Well, like we say, we're going live on Instagram and we're live on YouTube. So we're talking about swing thoughts. Like, swing thoughts are a biggie, aren't they? Like, if you're just starting out, I think most of us have this concept of we have to think about everything. And that's potentially because when we first start playing golf, position, and then that changes depending on what shot we're hitting. So I would look at it this way, right? I would look at golf and go, right, okay, I've got my pre-swing and I've got my in-swing. So I'm starting off with my pre-swing thoughts. That is my grip, my stance, park that aside. Then I would have maximum of 2 swing thoughts in the golf swing. One for your backswing, one for your downswing. That is honestly the best way of doing it. Because if you go way more than that, this then becomes extremely, extremely hard to control. And we just can't create any functional movement around that. Okay, we're going to have one more here from Instagram as well, because we've got some really good ones. Guys, thanks so much for joining me. Show us the video some love. Hit these questions. Let me know if you've got any questions. I'm here to help you guys improve your golf, and simple tips that are really here just to actually make you work. Like, hopefully you think none of the words in this channel are used are like big and flamboyant for any reason at all. They just are what they are, and they're there to help you improve. Okay, so here we go. Here's some more questions coming in here from Instagram. Texas Gibbs said, thanks, Alex, for all your videos. I started a 21 handicapper. I stopped playing 15 years. I'm now a 7 after 4 months. That is brilliant. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Can you explain 2 tips to improve practice putting? Okay, this is a big one. Like, if we look at sort of practicing putting, if we look at putting in general, like if we look at how high that is on most of our agendas, it's right down at the bottom. Like, it literally is right down at the bottom. I would say like a good way of doing this is number 1, practice under pressure. So I used to do this game when I was caddying with Tom. Like, it was really good. So you start off at like 3 feet, and you do like a spiral out all the way to 12 feet, and it'll go par putt, birdie putt, par putt, birdie putt, par putt, birdie putt. And that would be a great way of actually sort of emulating what happens in the golf course. So if you were doing Stableford, it'd be like 3 points, 2 points, 3 points, 2 points. And essentially is how many points can you get, or how close to par can you get? And all these things are really, really good to help you really improve. Okay, guys, thanks so much for joining me on Instagram. Thanks so much for joining me on YouTube. We're going to go and start taking some of the questions from YouTube here as well. Okay, so this is really good. Evening, guys. So evening, John, even Beach, even SB, even Matt Gray, even Cindy, Shane, Matthew. Thanks so much, guys, for joining me right now. We're going to go back up to the top on some of these questions. Beach Fraser said, evening. The distance is really down to swing speed. Every time I hit down and compress it, I get 0 distance. Clipping it off the top tends to help. Is this right? Now, what you've got to think about here is, and this is a big thing, if you are a slower swing player, if you're taking loft off and hitting down so much and reducing your launch to a degree that is too low, what I would say is you're not going to get it as far. But one thing I would say is we've got to have a look at what loft your irons are, what shafts you've got in, because they're things that can really help you generate more speed, but actually complement the way you swing the golf club. But in general, if we take loft off the golf club, if we hit down on it with an iron, these things we do hit a lot better, and we do start to strike our irons way, way better. So that's one thing that I would say, general terms, that is what we see. Guys, thanks so much for joining me. If you've just joined in, we're going live. We're here for the next 30 minutes, going through all your questions. And one thing I want to say is, like, this Thursday is for me to answer your questions right now. But also, if I don't answer your question, we're here to sort of like put all our ideas in a pot, and I'll go away and create some instruction videos based on exactly what you're asking for over the next sort of week or so. So get down in those comments. I'll screenshot them. I use them in the videos. And if you are watching right now and you do want to have your video used, or idea of video, do comment, do subscribe, and hit the bell, because you wouldn't want to miss out on yours being chosen. Simple, really simple. Okay, so let's go through the next one here. Okay, here we go. Mr. Defong said, hi, Alex. I suffer from over the top badly. Would like to stop it. I've tried many drills and can't seem to correct it. Now, this is a biggie, isn't it? How many of us swing over the top? Like, literally loads of us swing over the top. Hit the thumbs up button, guys, if you are someone that swings over the top. You're going to want to listen to this. I think what we're going to do is we're going to talk about that one now, but also I'm going to screenshot that one, because I think that's an awesome one to use as part of the content over the next few weeks, is over the top move. One thing, if you're over the top, I always think of like you move the shoulders and the lower half together at the same time. We don't separate enough. We don't separate well enough in that downswing. So actually, these are things that you need to feel. So we're going to look at sort of separation drills and how you stop swinging over the top. That is a brilliant one. We're going to be using that one, guys, on Instagram and on YouTube as a main piece of content. So guys, thanks so much. Okay, let's go back over to YouTube again. Here we go. This is a really, really nice one. Here we go. SB. Alex, love your teaching. You're the best. Thanks so much, SB. Can you recommend any drills to improve in footwork and using the ground? Now, this is a big one, isn't it? Using the ground. How many times is this battered around? Or like we hear it all the time, and we all hear it's like a great source of finding more speed, finding more power, and generally hitting the golf ball a lot further. And that's true. It is. It will help you hit it further. But what I think I would say is like improve your footwork should come like as a result of improving how your hips and your body's moving. Like if you're rotating better in the golf swing, you will feel as though the ground's being used much more. You will feel as though you are using the ground, coming off the ground, whatever sort of terms you want to use. One thing that I see is people that feel like they're not using the ground is we tend to early extend and stand up. And as we're striking the golf ball, our weight goes towards our toes. One thing that I would think about is where you're putting your pressure in the swing. What I tend to like to feel is, imagine these are my feet, right foot, left foot. Hopefully it's not flipped it on where you're watching it right now. I like to feel the weight and pressure move into my sort of foot around about here in my backswing, and then trace into sort of my left heel as I'm striking it, and a sort of after impact. So that pressure trace sort of goes from here across into here. That's the one thing that I would say is a great way of thinking about that, SB. Hopefully that really helps you. Cindy Wooson, this is a good question. Even Alex, having lessons but just can't get to move my hips and create power in the downswing. It's driving me nuts. Now, how many of us have been in that situation where we can't make any more power than what we've had before? Like, I know, like, countless people. Maybe it's you watching it right now. Maybe this is a question that you had. In fact, Cindy, what we're going to do is we're going to use that one as another piece of content that's going to go up over the next few weeks. Hips. Big hips. Guys, get down in these comments on Instagram and on YouTube. Like, how do you struggle with your hips? Do you get enough open? So, Cindy, one thing I'd say is like hips, and if you tried many drills and this still isn't working, maybe you've got to look at like the flexibility side of things. But a quick, simple tip right now, if you're struggling with your hip mobility, one thing you can do, imagine this is both your feet, right? This is my left foot, this is my right foot, I'm hitting in this direction. I would turn my left toe out a little bit because that's going to really loosen up and give you a better chance of moving in the golf swing and moving them hips. So I would really look at something like that. That's a really great way of doing this. Guys, thanks so much for joining me here on Instagram. I'm going to be jumping over to YouTube now for the next 15 minutes. So the link is in my bio. Click on my YouTube channel, Alex Elliott Golf, and come and join me live. We are live here on Instagram and on YouTube, but we're going to finish off going live on YouTube right now. We've got loads of questions and they're coming back to you guys shortly. Okay, guys, we are now just live here on YouTube. We are going to be going live for the next 15 minutes. So do not worry. I'm going to go through all these questions and we're going to remain live here on YouTube for the next 15 minutes. So if you're coming over from Instagram, welcome. Hit this link right here. If you're watching on Instagram and you want to come and join us, we've got some brilliant questions all about downswing, separation. We're going to go on to Shane Powell's one next because this is a great one. Okay, Shane, does the ball type make a difference? Soft feel or hard? What do you guys think about this? Let's get down in these comments. Like, what golf ball are you currently using right now? Because I've seen so many people say hard golf balls better, soft golf balls better. And this is me trying to multitask, guys, by the way. I'm trying to just put a story on YouTube here, on Instagram to come and watch this live stream. Okay, so that is now up. I've now done that. I can concentrate. What golf ball are you using right now, right? Because I've always thought this, like, there's so many options. Like, Vice, there's sleek balls, there's so many options. And by the way, has anybody heard about the fact that we could be in a golf ball shortage? This actually scares me because it's going to make it very, very expensive. Okay, so yes, I would say it does. If I'm giving my personal opinion on this, Shane, like, I think that your golf ball makes a massive difference. And I think a lot of people see this when we're hitting those approach shots as a better player. So that feeling of that control, that feeling of being able to hit that spinny chip, I would say, like, for most people, obviously it all depends on your budget, but if we could have a golf ball that has a good combination of both, and that's a bit of a wishy-washy answer, but I would say I prefer a softer feel golf ball to a hard one. Even though that might sacrifice a little bit of distance from the tee, I much prefer, because obviously you're going to hit a lot more short shots than you do long shots, like chips, putts, etc. I much prefer the feel that you get around the greens with that. So Shane, I prefer a soft feel, and I do think it does make a difference personally. Maybe marginal for some people, maybe not. But yeah, I definitely think it does make a difference. Okay, Matthew Carr said, tips for taking to the range game to the course. Ooh, good one, this. Really good one, guys. If you are watching right now, I would appreciate, guys, if you'd share this video, like it, subscribe. We're going to some really good content, really some questions here. We've already picked 2 of these to help create some content over the next few weeks. Some brilliant ones. One from Cindy Wooten. That's a really good one. Okay, so tips for taking your range game to the course. How many of us struggle with that, right? And there's a simple way of thinking about this, because I have been in your shoes. I promise you that. Like, I have been in your shoes where I've been on the golf course and I've just come from the range and I'm thinking, ripped it. That's it. Gone for 38, 40 points today. Ripped it. Got on the golf course, can't hit my hat. And that does happen a lot. Way more than you think as well. So one thing that I would say is, and one thing that I had a massive pitfall, as hard as this is putting yourself under pressure when you're practicing. So finishing off your range session, putting 2 targets down the range, and just pick 2 flags out and say, right, I'm going to hit 5, 7 irons. How many times can I hit that green? And be truthful and brutally honest with yourself, because I used to sort of lie, I was in that, I did that. And then you get on the golf course, obviously the green doesn't lie. You either hit it or you don't. And then do the same with the fairway. Set 2 fairway posts out, left and right. How many times can I hit that fairway? That is exactly how I would do it, because this gives you a much better chance of hitting that fairway. And yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. Okay, let's jump down to some more of these questions, guys. Thanks so much for just joining me. Don't forget to get in these comments down below. We're picking out these questions. We're creating some content over the next few weeks. This is a really good way of doing this. Okay, Mark Sanchez said, how do you start a slow swing drill for swinging slower? Focus on form and weight transfer. Thank you, sir. Always love your value videos. Also a little on the right hand position. So right hand position first. I like to feel my right hand crease as a right-handed golfer, pointing to my right shoulder at address, and I like to feel my right hand on top of that golf club as I'm swinging down. Now, Mark, nice simple one here is, if you're looking to create some rhythm in your golf swing, let's do it in sort of gears. Think of gear 1 to gear 5, right? You've got a car. Gear 5 is your fastest, gear 1 is your slowest. I would literally feel like this, right? I hit 1 shot in gear 1, then gear 2, then gear 3, then gear 4, then gear 5. So essentially you're just building up your speed in increments. This is a great way to do it, and a great way to feel some improvements in your swing. Try that, Mark, and for anybody else. So Danny V, Alex, struggling with the feeling scoopy in my wedge shots. I'm a longer hitter, but losing quite a lot of distance using my 54 and 58. How do I generate a little bit more distance with these wedges? Danny, this is a big one. I would say this is what you've got to think. Most of us hit a 7-iron and add loft, let's say. We turn it into a pitching wedge. Now, when we have a lofted club already and do this, this creates a very glancing contact. So what I would say is, Danny, is a nice simple thing. Try moving the ball back in a bit of a punch feeling. This could be a great way of you bringing this and building this into your golf game. Try it. Let me know how you get on with that. Just a simple one of, well, if you're in a punch shot, that ball starts slower. It launches lower. You hit down it more. All these factors alone are the opposite to scooping. So that's exactly how I think about it. It's a nice, simple one. That absolutely lovely, nice little simple one to sort of go out and think about there. It's a really, really good one. Okay, so we've got another one here from Patrick. He said, may sound stupid, but what does it mean when you release the club? Patrick, there's literally no stupid question on this channel. Like, there's no stupid questions at all. We're just here to help you improve. So one thing I would say is, if you're feeling release the golf club, think about when you throw a ball. You throw it, don't you? You let go of it. That's called like the release point. It's the same thing in the golf swing. It's that release point of where we get that club face squaring up to striking the golf ball and passing it. I would count the release for me is from hip height on the way down to hip height on the way through. That's where I feel like the release happens, and that's where I sort of get people to think about it. And I teach people every day along those lines, because I think if we talk about it being that minute area of impact, it's a lot harder for us to sort of compartmentalize and go, that's what I've got to try and control. Okay, so guys, thanks so much for joining me tonight. We've still got 10 more minutes left, so get down these comments. There's loads down below. I'm getting through them. So just get down in them. So I've got a good one here. Where was that one gone? Thoughts on driver versus 3-wood off the tee. David Tukey. Interesting one, this, because how do you decide? So this is what I would decide. Where is my ball landing? Or where's the intended position my ball's landing? What's the trouble like? Is it really narrow? Well, if the answer is yes, then taking a step back and then going with something like a 3-wood instead of driver, laying up short of the trouble. So one thing that I always said was, when I was caddying for Tom, if we were laying up short of something, making sure you lay up. Imagine there's water run out. Imagine there's a bunker. You want to feel as though you're laying up short of all this stuff, because you don't want to be in a situation where it's going to run out into trouble on a good shot. There's nothing worse than hitting a good shot into trouble. What I mean by that is taking too much club. Nothing worse. So that's how I would say it. Tyler, so Arcos says I need to focus on driving distance and approach. Puttings is okay. Love Arcos. Tiller's, yeah, Arcos is a great tool. Has anybody used it, by the way? Like, I honestly think Arcos is probably one of the best things we should all look at. And I'm not paid by Arcos, by the way. Not in support of the channel or anything. I just get a lot of people to use it because as a coach, I can see their game. I can get a picture. I can get a snapshot of what's going on in their game. And that's always good. Okay, so let's go on to this next one. Rob Hartle Golf. Does tensing my arms in the downswing affect my shots? Is it normal? So, Rob, one thing I would always say, I would always like you to feel as though you're smooth, you're flowing, and any tension in the golf swing, for me personally, I don't think is a good thing. So I get a lot of my students to feel as though they are nice and relaxed. They are feeling as though they're nicely releasing it. Because if you're tensing up, right, you've got to think if you're tensing your grip, you're tensing your arms, and your arms are connected to your body. So all these things get a little bit more tense. And in fact, today, one of my lessons, we talked about grip pressure, and it was stopping him releasing it because his grip pressure was just too firm. This wouldn't allow him to release the club. So, yeah, I think it does have a big thing. But Danny D-Rock said it. Shout out from Alex in Atlanta, Georgia. Love your videos. Please tell me you're going to the Masters. Please tell me you're going to the Masters. It's probably not. It's probably quite a long way away, isn't it? It's probably a very big state. Here's me saying that. So golf NFTs. Highlights currently use averaging mid-high 80s. I have trouble with my driver. A lot of us can probably relate to this. My strike is usually lower and centre slightly to the toe side. Do you recommend looking at anything to fix my swing? So golf NFTs. One thing that I would look at here is obviously strike location. When you're hitting it off the toe, because the driver's a big club, there's something called gear effect. Now, when you've got gear effect in a club, this can cause the ball to curve in opposite directions. Because imagine this is the toe, the golf club, this is the heel. As you're striking the toe kicks back, the ball moves in the opposite direction. As you hit the heel kicks back, the ball moves left to right for a right-handed golfer. So one thing I would look at here is, and this is a really nice, simple one. I would put, if you're constantly at the toe, put a tee outside of your golf ball. So tee your golf ball up here, put another one out here, and try and hit the outside tee peg, because then you're moving your strike a little bit out. Strike location's massive. I think a lot of us will misdiagnose shots, or definitely misdiagnose bad or good shots off just poor strikes. What I mean by that is because you've got gear effect. Gear effect in the driver is massive. Like, it is like the biggest cause to me of misdiagnosed errors in the golf swing. Okay, here's a great one. Let's go on to this next one. Chris Simone said, how do you keep your arms from being behind you in the backswing? From Alberta, Canada. Great one. I think this is a really nice one. How do you keep your arms? So a nice simple drill is just put underneath your right arm, place a head cover. Keep connected. Keep the head cover on. You can't move your arms behind you too much. Nice simple one there. Okay, let's go on to this one. Fat Shot Golf said, what tee height and ball position for fairway woods hybrids and one length hybrid and long iron? I guess they may be different. So ball position, fairway woods and hybrids. So one thing that I would say is, and this is something that I did, I was a player of 1-length irons and a player of 1-length hybrid. I always had it in a more traditional ball position. Now, I'm not saying this is right. This is just something that I experimented with. So I have my fairway woods, my hybrids, and my or utility iron, a club head inside my left heel. I'm a right-handed golfer. So if you are a left-handed golfer, this would be a club head inside your right heel. And the tee peg that I would use is like, let's say the Castle tees is those little red ones, just a little one. So just when the ball's just set up a little bit. The best way I can describe it, it's like you teed up on the fairway. Just tee up a little bit. Just tee up a little bit. That's just exactly how we want it to look. It's nothing too big. It's just something nice and simple just to get it a little bit better. I went through a period of not teeing up at all, and that I really don't know why. Golf's hard enough as it is, right? Why would you do that, Alex? Okay, guys, so get down in these comments. We've got some questions that I want to go there because I've still got time to do these. So come on, get down in these comments down below. We're still going on this live stream. So the next one on our list. Let's go down here. Okay, so I've got a few questions here coming in from the golf ball. Bridgestone was a good one here from Neil Taylor. And we had a few other ones. Here's a go. Fat Shot Golf. Will you do a video on your process for approaching a competition? Prep, course management, what clubs to put in the bag, diet, exercise, trolley, carry, bag, electric trolleys, or everything you can think of. This is a great one. I like that. You know why I like that one, guys? That's because it's not just a simple thing of like, okay, do this in the golf swing. It is a little bit more in depth. And I think a lot of us can cope with that. I think a lot of us can improve with this. So, Fat Shot Golf, that is a brilliant suggestion. Guys, let's just get in on these comments. I want to know what you think. Like the Masters is around the corner now. I always think this when we get to past the Players Championship. I literally think the Masters is here. Who do we think is going to win? I am literally torn between. I love it to be Rory as like a romantic thing of like, oh, Rory, yes. But actually, I think Bryson will win if he plays. If he plays, though. Okay, so Aussie Golfer, love your tips. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much. Danny V, thank you much for your tips. I will have a go at this next time. Appreciate it. No problem at all. Mark Sanchez, thank you. Okay. I am the man. How can I add more distance with my irons? Now, we had a similar question to this before on the fact that if you're a slower swing player and you take loft off too much, you can launch it a little bit lower. The simple thing is obviously one, swinging better, swinging faster. But let's say we can't swing it any faster. Strike location, angle of attack, and dynamic loft. Controlling those three things. What I mean by dynamic loft, guys, is imagine your 7-iron is at this loft at address. If we bring it in at slightly lower loft, that will help us hit it a little bit further. That would be a really good way of thinking about that. So let's go to this one. Mike Williams, Alex Elite Golf. I was told that my swing is wrong, that I start my backswing my upper body and then start my downswing my lower body. Is that wrong? Mike Williams, like I would say that depends. I mean, obviously, I'm only going off what you're saying. I'm not seeing your golf swing. But the concepts that I always get people to work to in their golf swing is that in their backswing, right, we start with moving the triangle. That's the triangle between your hands and your shoulders. Then the downswing, I always say start from the ground up. So start with your lower half. Definitely. I feel much better. I think, Mike, that is the way I think you should do it. And I can see here, Graham's he works that process as well. So, yeah. Guys, Cam, here we go. This is good. Cam Smith will win the Masters. Bryson, Cindy Wu. Masters picks are Cameron Smith, Colin Morikawa, John Ram. Victor Hovland will win it. Hovland's a great shot. I mean, Cameron Smith is in a good form. And he does have a very, very good reputation around the Masters. He's been close a few times. Okay, guys, let's get down in these comments here. Like, these are some really good ones here. Let's get in another one. Okay, this is a good one. From Michael Chitok. I think too much. To stop myself doing this, I just think tempo. That there is a brilliant piece of advice. Absolutely brilliant piece of advice. I couldn't think of anything better to think about in your golf swing than just tempo, because then you start to move and feel the golf club and you take your focus away from being a positional thing to being a rhythm thing. So Absolutely love that. That is a great piece of advice. And that piece of advice does not come from me this evening. That piece of advice has come from, where has it gone? Michael Shitok. That is a great piece of advice. Okay, let's go another one here. Does the angle lie change from an iron to iron in my set, or should it? So one thing that you should think about here is, yes, the lie angle will change slightly, because I'll tell you why. If you are a golfer that uses a variable set of irons, your clubs get longer. So in order for that club to sit the same on the ground, they have to change slightly. But when you get fitted for your irons, you'll probably try fit it for a 7-iron, let's say, and you'll be 1 degree flat or 1 degree upright. Let's just say 1 degree flat. So the whole of your set will be 1 degree flat. But obviously that line will be slightly different the longer the club. So yeah, they will slightly be different, but always be the same. If that is this, you know what I mean? Like they're always 1 degree flat, I would say, or upright and flat, mine usually. Okay, Oliver Shart said, hi Alex, how can I relax at the same time keeping my left arm straight in the golf swing? I like that one. Okay, Oliver, one thing that I would say is if you're struggling with this, there's a little bit of a sneak peek. I'm going to use that for a video. That was a brilliant one. So make sure, Oliver, you subscribe. And this is a big one. Is grip. How you're holding that golf club can have a massive, massive impact on your ability to keep that left arm straight. If you've got it in the palm, you will tend to start strangling the golf club, okay? And then you can't get enough leverage to keep that left arm straight. So the first thing that I would have a look at is your grip and your grip pressure, and then have a look at that left arm. Also, how much is your body turning? You might be sort of feeling a little bit more body movement than you need to, or not enough. Like these things are all very, very different, and you need to make sure that you're doing them correctly. Okay, next one coming up here from Brad Franz. Do you have any recommendations or advice, i.e. compression layers, spin rates, budget golf balls that are good for higher swing speeds, but still offer some forgiveness? So, Brad, one thing that I would say right here is like, and this is coming from me that has tried this. I've been using some lake balls recently. They're a little bit cheaper, but it means you can go premium. Like if you get the grade A, you honestly wouldn't tell the difference. You honestly wouldn't tell the difference. I don't know if anybody's tried lake balls. I honestly think you couldn't tell the difference, like personally. So yeah, that's one thing I would say, Brad. That's one of my pieces of advice. I'm currently 11 months into golfing. I have a 29.7 handicap. Is that good? The man, 100%. Don't matter what handicap we are, right? If you're going out, enjoying it and hitting the golf ball good, that is what the handicap's there for. You can be competitive. That's what I think about. Don't worry about your handicap. Just try and be as competitive as you can at your handicap, because then you can have a game with anybody. That's what I think. Guys, thanks so much for joining me on this live stream. It's absolutely mint. I love coming live. Now, there's something I've got to tell you. I'm not going to be here next Thursday. But the Thursday after, we will be back as normal at 8 p.m. here on the channel. Thank you so much for your support this last week. I look forward to catching up with you tomorrow. This has been mint. Ed Kemp said, hi, Alex. It's Ed. Just wanted to say hi and thank you for the amazing Puma bag you donated to me for my son, Matthew. Ed, no problem at all, guys. Thank you so much. Guys, I appreciate it. All your support is absolutely mint. If you could hit the thumbs up button and subscribe, or just tell a few people about the channel, I really appreciate it. And the more people I can help improve their golf, and any questions that you've got, put on my community page, go and answer and ask questions. I'm here to help you improve. So, guys, thanks so much. Appreciate you all.